Welcome back to the Brick Paddock, and today we'll be checking out the 7747 Lego City Wind Turbine Transport set. So this set came out in 2009. It was a limited edition city set. This set came with 444 pieces, and it had the old age rating. What I mean by that, they did a range instead of like 6 plus, 5 plus. So this was in the range of 5 to 12, but if you were to put it on the modern rating scale by Lego, that would be 5 plus. The original retail price was $60 US back in 2009. So a little backstory before I get started. This is one of two sets that I've always wanted back. The other one will be either it's already been shown or it's the next video. I don't know when this video is going to come out. But this is one of them. It's a Wind Turbine Transport. I originally got this set back in 2009 or 2010. I can't remember. I got it actually at the Mall of America. And over time, I was a kid, so it came apart and the pieces just got scattered here and there. But recently, I decided I'm going to rebuild it. So I found 85% of the pieces. And the rest of the pieces I had to order off of Bricklink. And then I was going to order the sticker sheet off of Bricklink, but it was going to cost me like $60. And so I found a eBay seller with the custom sticker, with a custom sticker pack. And so that's what I ended up getting, and that was about $10. I said I had 85% of the parts. The last 15% of the parts that I bought cost me about $30 US. And so all in, I'm at $40 US. So like, if I already had 85% of the parts, let's just count that as the last $20, give or take, and there we go, I got my set back. I think the best way to do this is go piece by piece here, because we got three different pieces here, big pieces, truck, trailer, another truck, and then of course the turbine. So first up, we've got the guide truck here. There really should be two of these. There's only one in this set because usually there's a truck leading, like with an oversized load sign, and then there's the actual main truck, and then there's a truck at the back. So the truck at the back actually has controls in the cab, and what they can do is when this truck like has to make a turn, they control the rear wheels and they're turnable on the rear, and so they can actually, the guide truck back there turns the wheels and it makes it easier for the load to turn. Anyway, let's look at the truck here. So this has got the old building structure with the old chassis here. And then it's got the old axles and the old tires. They don't really use these on city sets anymore. They may, like here and there. The stickers you can see here, those are the custom ones. And then this is a sticker. All of the graphics are stickers. And you got some cool caution graphics down there, and then you got some a license plate there, and then some caution graphics here. And this actually lifts up to see the truck bed, and you can store the little like guide sign that they have, so you can guide it in there. And so I just kind of stored it in there. But when you lift it up, this is to show like in Europe, because it's kind of a European style set. Like the markings here or to show where you go so you don't hit it. So like this is pointing this way, so you want to go this way. This is pointing this way, so if you're in the middle lane, you go here and here, not straight on. Go ahead and fold that back down, put it over to the side, and let's get into the truck. Lego City still does the cab over style trucks. They have basically forever. They've only made the conventional style, aka the US style, every now and then. And I actually have the newer US style here. You can see the size comparison. This one is obviously a lot smaller than this one is, and the hitch situation would not work with this modern one. I could make it work if I wanted to, but over here we have, this is a, how big is this? Oh yeah, it's 6 wide. This is 6 wide. So this is a 6 wide going on to an 8 wide. So this is a 6 wide. It's got these little storage compartments in here where you can put like cones and tools and stuff. It's got the wind turbine symbol here. It's got opening doors, just like the newer ones have opening doors sometimes. And then you can take the top off and you can see in there, you got a steering wheel, a seat, a cup, and that's about it. Putting that back on there, you got the smokestacks here too. And then there is a little vent piece, and I don't know where my other one went. I was going to get one off of Bricklink, but it was going to cost me a lot of money for some reason because it's printed. And there's a missing piece here too. I got to figure that out and fix that. Not all the pieces are here, and you may notice the minifigures are not here because it was just such generic minifigures. I didn't really see the need to get them when I have plenty of minifigures. You can also see the caution lights on the trucks. These would flash back and forth to warn oncoming traffic or warn traffic coming up or behind them. And then you have the transport logo there. And then you have on the back here some more caution markings like they would be seen with the trailer and a license plate. Moving on to the hitch situation. So this hitch is just a basic round piece with a Technic beam sort of thing in there. Unlike this one, where it has a actual looking kingpin where you can slide in the hitch to hook it up. This one you have to, if I move this over, you have to put it and kind of line it up perfectly and put it in there. You can't do that. You can't take it off that way. You have to lift up and then you can take off, and then it kind of just lays down. Another thing is these are a lot more detailed for the newer ones. The older ones are not as detailed. This one's a little bit more detailed with the cargo boxes on the back, but like the inside is not really that detailed. And the newer ones, this is just a new thing that they've started, have like opening areas. They got like the engine inside. You can still take the top off the new ones. And you can see there's a bed in there with 2 people. I guess this one isn't really as detailed as I thought, but you kind of get my point. They're a little bit more detailed now, and they are also bigger. This would probably be a good time too to talk about the tires and how I said that the this has the old style tires. These are more kind of an off-road tire. They were generic for every single vehicle type. They didn't have like these tires, like these more road-going tires like they do now in the wheels. They work the same way though. If you take it off, if I can take it off, yeah, you can see it'll have actually the same connection point. I'm gonna pop that one back on, and it's kind of hard to take these off, but you can kind of see what I mean. Like these are interchangeable, so technically I could get the newer tire, but I don't know if it fit in the fender well. So taking a look at this trailer is called a Lowboy trailer. I'll put a picture of a real one right there. What is a Lowboy trailer? A Lowboy trailer is a trailer that holds specifically like wide loads and big loads. And so a lot of times they'll have like a thing where like this is replicated. You can actually pull it out like so. You can push it back in, and the only way they can load these really, if it's not like parts like a wind turbine part, is that the front part, this part actually comes off of the truck, like they disconnect it, and then it lays down on the ground. They put ramps, and that's how they drive farm machinery on. I'll see if I can find a picture on Google of farm machinery or construction machinery on a Lowboy trailer. I'll put a picture here if I can find one on Google, but that's how they do it. On here, I mean, you could probably do it by pushing out these pins, but I just leave it the way it is. So you see here, we've got a few attachments. So these attachments are for the different wind turbine parts. This is for the blades. This is for the main like tower. And then the motor portion will go on here with none of these attachments on. We also have some caution markings on the side here, so if traffic's coming up and they somehow don't see the guide trucks or they somehow don't see the flashing lights, then if they're driving by, they're like, oh, we should probably stay clear because there's caution markings on this. Also on the back, we don't have caution markings, but these are kind of a reflective piece of tape or decal, but this one is not actually reflective. The newer city sets, I bet you if this came out like today in 2025, this would be a reflective piece. You also have the old style studded lights here. What do I mean by that? You go over here to the newer one, and this is a flat style. It's flat, but here it's studded. I am going to put this over here, and we're going to load everything up, but I'm going to show the actual wind turbine when it's in one piece, and then I'm going to break it down. This turbine is not going to fit in one frame, so I'll just kind of show a little overview real quick. It is about 19 inches tall, which is pretty tall for even for modern city standards. For a comparison in size, we're going to use the Artemis like I did in my crane review, and you can see what I mean. Like, the Artemis is about 27 inches tall, and the wind turbine is about 19 inches tall. As you would expect with this, the turbine actually spins. And another cool thing is that the motor on the tower actually spins 365 degrees. So first up, we're going to take off the blades, and they've got these little Technic clips, so it's a little, you have to use a little bit of force to take them off. See what I mean there? There's 3 of them. Looking here at the actual blade, you got this blade piece. This is actually from the old set, and you can see some marks on it where it's been beat up. I tried to save as many pieces as I could because they are kind of expensive. You can see the Technic gripper clip piece here, and there's a little size comparison just for the blade. It's pretty much the size of the whole tower. It's longer than this pickup semi-truck. And it's about as long as this semi-truck. Next up is the motor here, and I can never get it to be taken off without having this thing come off, so I just put it right back on top, and we got the motor here. So Octane, this says Octane Energy on it. Octane Energy is basically the LEGO City's energy, like gas, oil, electricity, like that's what they use. They don't call it really octane anymore, but there's plenty of references when there's like an energy set or a gas station. There's plenty of references with the colors that from the old Octane branding. When I say motor on this, there's really no motor. It just, the wind blows it and generates electricity, and then it gets stored in here and down to the ground where electrical wires will take it to a storage facility, and then they'll transfer it into your home. The best place to see wind turbines are in big open fields like eastern Colorado. All of Kansas has them. Missouri will have them. I think they're even in Utah in the more flat areas. They can even be in the mountains. They can be in the middle of the ocean even. There is plenty of places you basically put a wind turbine like this anywhere as long as it's flat and wind is going to get it. With that said, with the wind getting it, is that if these have a lockout on them, so if the wind gets too high, they can activate the lockout and it won't spin, because if it spins too fast, it could break the entire thing. And I've seen them going really, really fast, and then one of the blades will just snap off and it explodes and makes a huge mess. You also have some cooling vents back in here, and then you have this cone, which this is usually when it's transported in real life, this is such a big piece, it has to be transported separately. This has to be transported separately, and then the blades have to be transported separately. Now to the massive tower. The tower has to be transported in sections in real life, but here we can transport it all in one big section. So it comes up and gets taken off, and there's a little Technic thing in here that it goes into, and then it connects via the studs. So here's the tower more in detail. You got this was a very, very expensive part. I did not know where mine went. I think it was bent up really bad, and I no longer have it. This part costed me a whopping $7 because the tube, this goes to about here to about here. That's how big the that one piece is. And the reason it has to be so long is so this thing doesn't break apart. This is what's holding it together. If you did not have this in here, this would be a lot more breakable. Like, just me barely doing it would have broken apart. As with the base, the original base was smaller, but the pieces, I didn't know where my smaller pieces were, and I was going to buy them, but they were also pretty expensive. Also with this base is that this would be this part would be all the way around, but I wanted more variety with mine. Since I was rebuilding it, I kind of wanted to use my own imagination. So this is what I kind of came up with. It mimics the old design, but I also kind of added the little more modern variation. All right, now with the trailer, we're going to show the trailer, how this stuff works. So I'm going to take this off, and we're going to use this attachment first since it's already on there. These blades will clip into here, if I can get it there. Yeah, there we go. One, and then you can add another one and another one. Now, in real life, they only transport 1 or 2 at a time because they're bigger, but this is about how it would be, and then you can stretch out the trailer as needed. Like, if you need to go a little bit longer, you could go a little bit longer, but I think we're good right there. Let's hook the truck up to see what it would look like if it was going down the road. Have it hooked up, and there we go. We can transport the blades to the site. I'm just going to take this entire thing off, and you can also store them that way too. That's a nice little storage feature on it. And now we have this little piece here, and this goes at the very beginning of the trailer, and you would hook this rod into the back of there, and then you'd have to stretch the trailer open more. About like that. And now you have a longer trailer, and you can transport this big tube. Now, in real life, like I've said before, they don't do this because of length restrictions. Taking this off, which is another storage feature you can do, set it over there. We can now take the actual wind turbine motor, not really a motor, more of an energy store, and it fits perfectly into those little these little bar beams here that come off of the studs. This is how you put it in there, and then you can drive off. And no, if you ask, you cannot do multiples at once because it would not fit, and it would probably be too much weight. I do have the modern city crane, of course, and you can kind of build it if you like to, which I think is really cool. They actually advertised this back in the day as a modular set, like the new modern modular sets they have now. And you can have, if you have a crane, like they made cranes like this back in the day, you could kind of play around with it and put it back into place and then lift up this somehow. You'd probably have to remove some of the smooth stuff and put like the studs or get like a chain, and then you can lift it up on there and then do the wings also. I quickly want to go over the secondhand market for these. So this is off of the Brick Economy website. The numbers are on there. I'll put a link in the description. This was released August 3rd of 2009. It was retired January 22nd of 2011. It was on the market for about 17 months from fall 2009 to early 2011. The value of this new sealed is, like I said, in the range of $100 to $200. It says on here the value is about $147. That's for a new sealed one, never been open. The used value is around $83. The range, though, is about from $80 to $100 if you want to use one that's been opened. I will provide a link to Bricklink, that's a mouthful, to this set if you want to buy it used. The cheapest one you can buy right now is $75 as of filming, but it is incomplete. The most expensive one that's new as of filming is $416, but it's signed by some designer, I think. So the most expensive non-signed special one that's in the box that I have found is $216. But the new sealed versions are running in the range of $140 to $160 US. All of the prices I have mentioned are in United States dollar or USD. If you don't know about Bricklink, Bricklink is basically the eBay for Lego sellers. And I would say also, when dealing with any used seller, do your research, make sure you look at the description, ask questions if you're unsure, and make sure you're not going to get ripped off, because some people do. They try to keep those people away because it is owned by Lego. So what are my finishing thoughts on this? I really like this. I'm from the Midwest, so we have these wind turbines pretty much everywhere. And every time I'm on the highway, I usually see a wind turbine transport truck taking parts to the wind turbine site because they're always building new wind turbines. But I really, really like this. I really like the little guide truck that goes in front of it, or even behind it. He can go behind it and kind of guide people around. I really want to build another guide truck and put it in the front here, but I don't know. We'll see about that. But in terms of like the truck functionality, I really, really like that we can extend this out or even shorten it and take the turbine apart and have it be the modular, like the modern modular stuff now, which is a shame that they don't make another one of these with the modern modular system. I think it would be really cool. I don't know if it just doesn't fit in the city theme, but they've been doing a lot of construction sets recently. I just don't think that, I think now, because if it would costed this much back, $60 back in 2009, it would probably cost 150 if they built a bigger scale one now, and they would probably have to make new pieces because I don't even know if these pieces are still in the Lego system anymore. I don't know if it's just that it would cost too much or they don't think it would sell, but I think with the new modern modular system, this would be a really good candidate for it because even now they can make it even taller or even like bigger around because they have bigger pieces like this now. They got more wider pieces, and if you put it together, it still is a circular shape. And then they could do something like make this bigger and have you open it up and have the internals going in there, like the semi truck or the new bulldozer set coming out. Like, I'd really like to see a modern remake of this, but Lego usually does not bring back older sets, especially if they did not sell well, and I don't believe this one sold well. So maybe we'll never get another wind turbine. Maybe we'll get another wind turbine. Who knows? I'd really like to see another modern wind turbine, though. But that's my thoughts on it. I want to know your thoughts. Make sure you put them down in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the Wheel Brick, follow the Wheel Brick on Instagram, and I will see you next video.